Alright, so I've decided to do a video because I've had some recent success in a few areas. And I also wanted to talk about the clear benefits of what I'm going to call passive patching. I know I've come up with all sorts of terms during this little epic journey of mine, but what I'm going to do actually is I've just built a package called pkgsrc in the CAD category. And under normal circumstances, this would require patching. And what usually happens, or what does happen, is that iMake will create a makefile. The only problem is when it includes LIbx11 it doesn't append a 6 to it, so when the linker tries to link up with it, it fails. It's not a very difficult fix. I mean, you can just go in and change them, add the 6, find the line, but who wants to do that? If you can get things going in an automated fashion, that's a good way to go. So, right now I'm going to go over basically how my settings actually take care of the patching for me. Now, as far as passive patching is concerned, it's not going to be able to do everything. It's probably not going to be able to go, just know that I need to add the strings header and just go ahead and insert that for me. But if I know why a package is failing, actually, now that I think of it, if I know why a package is failing, I could change things. I could add certain, I could substitute out the notation LIbx11 and have it instead, before the build starts, change it to LIbx11 and I just did that for pkgsrc and had a successful build. Now I'm going to do it for a number of the packages that are in the time category, and go ahead and change the configuration file to add a setting for that particular package that will cause it to build automatically without failing as a result of the way iMake ends up creating the makefile. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in there and I'm going to have it fail, like I'm pretty sure, like I know it's going to. So yeah, change directories. Getting lazy. Okay, so let's do the do thing, which is the equivalent of bmake install. Path and everything, so it downloads the source code, extracts it, checks for all the dependencies that it believes it needs, and if it finds all the dependencies, which now I have, and I'm also going to go over, I don't want to forget this, I'm actually going to go over LIbx11 again, and this time I actually have a better fix. The last time I did a video, I wanted to remember to go over LIbx11 to at least say something about the fact that I had changed the files so that they would build, but I didn't necessarily fix them. Now I think I actually have a chance that they're patched properly, which I'm surprised. I just went over to the POSIX standard webpage and I parroted some of the kind of examples that they had there and put it in the place of what was in these code, of Lynx and some of the LIbx11 programs that were having problems, and it went and it built. So it may actually be patched okay. I'm not positive about that, but it sure is better than it was before. I just basically deleted all the lines that included username and password collection functionality. And hope that maybe someone would look at it and make it better. Now it's actually possible that I haven't removed the functionality and I've used the kind of, variables that these things are looking for. So now let's go here, GN and 1 o'clock. It should, and this is what it does. it's going to say, I don't know how to make boot home package library LIbx11 stop. Okay, so to finish, that's what I'm going to get to, but getting back to this subject, let's think about this. Now, GNYA clock, this is what I think is the very good thing about passive patching whenever you can, and I'm going to do passive patching now. If I'm able to edit some piece of code that's not part of the source code that comes down, but has the ability to modify the source code during the build process, this has several benefits. The first one is that even if the next version of whatever program I'm trying to build, such as this GNYA clock, comes out, if I have this other file over here set up such that it's not going to want to look for a particular version of GNAY clock, but GNAY clock still has the same problem. In building, if it's set up just to deal with the problem and not discriminate as to what version it is, not only will my passive patch work now, it'll probably work when the next version comes out, and it may even work with earlier versions of the same program. This is good. Furthermore, I don't have to make a patch. I don't have to give it to someone else to maintain. Other people don't have to download that patch. They don't have to remember to apply the patch. It just works so long as they're using a tool set that has this technology inside of it that's able to basically passively patch. The technology isn't new. That has been around for a long time, and what pkgsrc does is it uses sed to pretty much look for anything you want it to look for in any file you want it to look for, and change it with whatever you want to replace what you're looking for with. So I'm going to go into where my settings are. I've got this set up differently than most default users of pkgsrc would do, unless they're, experienced or something like that. The main make.conf file is in boot, home, package, etc. And I'm going over this quickly just to kind of show how I have things set up. Because if you download my repository, you don't want to just get the make.conf file. You want to get the other files that I'm going to point out, because it's pretty much very bland. The only thing you would benefit from maybe is this fetch timeout compared to, what you may have set up in your own system. Now I'm going to go over this. The reason why this says this was set up in last July, when I actually have only been using this system for about a couple weeks, is because it actually, pkgsrc right now isn't bootstrapping in the newer versions of Haiku. It'll bootstrap in a nightly from around July of 2014. It isn't doing it in the nightly from it was October 30th, and it may do it once again. I haven't tried it, and it may be able to bootstrap because the strings header is now back and readily available to. Anyway, it may or may not, but right now, at least in my system, I actually manually copy over just the basic stuff into my boot home package directory. And then it went from there, but I'm kind of getting off target. Anyway, so here's the make.conf file, and it includes something called haiku.make. Dagger does the same thing. He has all the settings for everything in the haiku.make file. I decided I wanted to split that up. One, because my make file was getting really cluttered. There's just a lot of options, and I could tell there's going to be a lot of solutions that are going to come out of making changes to the make.conf file and not patching. A lot. So I have that here. So this is and all this does is just include everything else. So all these other files, there's some in global and there's some in package, are all included in here, including some of the custom features and custom file locations. In this particular case, for this particular package, it happens to be in the package directory, in the substitute classes folder, file. So what I just built a package with this exact same methodology I'm going to use now, with the exact same problem. The only thing is that the make file was in a subdirectory called gmac within the source directory. So I had to path it. I couldn't just put make file there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I wouldn't have to copy this if I didn't have the difference in pathing, but I'm pretty sure that this GNAY clock, but I'm going to verify, isn't going to have this make file in a GMAC folder. But let's look. So the place that I have all my stuff download into is work. Enter time, here's GNAY clock. In the GNAY clock folder, we have just a make file. So I don't need to really specify where the make file is because it's just right there. So in this case, you gotta go back. I'm also going to change this to actually go into the time category in the GNAY clock category. And this is the same kind of structure that's in the package source directory. If you dig into the package source directory, there's a time folder, and there's a GNAY clock directory, and that's what's called the package path. And you'll see a conditional that says if package path equals what I'm going to copy in, there's the category and the name of the package, then it's going to initiate, or it's going to start doing this subroutine here. It's called substitute classes. Basically, I have to name it something, and I don't want to name it the same thing as I had before, so I'm going to call it LIbx11, and I'm going to call these variables LIbx11. Okay, so let's go down what this does. This is just, I have to give it a name. I have to tell package source, and I'm going to be doing some text substitution. I also have to tell package source when I want this to happen, and that's what the stage category is for. And what I'm saying is do this before you start to build any of the binaries. Actually, the options you have available to you are pre, post, and during both build and configure. Maybe even install. So you have 9 options as to when you want this thing to go off. That's very nice to have. Then you can send a message if you want, although I haven't really seen that this has taken place recently. I haven't seen it come on the terminal the last time I did it. I don't know why that is, but most of the time it'll say, hey, I'm fixing this for you. Then I've changed the path. I've removed the source in the GMAC directory just to target the file called makefile. I have to make sure I'm spelling it the same way, and I have. And then I have, what do I want to do? And in this case, I'm going to look for LIbx11 spelled exactly that way, .a, and I want to substitute those contents with LIbx11 and this is actually a sed command, and the -e is part of the sed command, and the s and the g are all part of that. So if you ever wanted to do sed -e s and do this upwards thing, and then you're gonna remove some misspelling from a text file and replace it with the corrected spelling, you can do it that way from the command line if you wanted to. But in this case, I'm actually fixing what I want to fix. The other thing I'm going to want to look at is whether any of the patches are trying to hit the make file, because that could cause some issues. But the patching takes place before the build process. So since I'm doing this pre-build, my changes are going to take place after things are patched. Okay. So to make clean, it's very easy the way I have it set up here. I just move it to the trash. Maybe empty the trash, or maybe empty it later, depending on what I want to do. Okay, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to make sure I got an end if at the beginning and if at the start, and I got this in quotes, and looks like it should be ready to go. So since it's already failed, but I've cleared out the directory. Nothing's there, so it's going to start over again when I type do. I have 3 or 4 packages that are like this that have this issue that I identified when I kept track of what the errors were. There probably are more that I haven't identified in the larger categories. First, package source checks to see if you've installed all the things you need to install before the build starts. Then it patches. When it does the toolchain wrappers, it starts to decide what to place in its complicated mesh of text files that are numerous to accomplish and want to accomplish. The reason why I deleted the directory is because it needs to start from the beginning to be able to accept new headings. So this takes about a week. No, it's going to start going. Now it's going to start the configure stage. I think Diger's got some fancy setting in there, or if it doesn't find the headers, it just looks somewhere else. Oh, hey, we're done. Just about. Unwrapping files to be installed. It would have failed right here. Also, you might notice that it's trying to link, it says it's trying to link to the math library, but the secret is it actually isn't. Because up here on my global setting for remove makefile library, I have a minus. I have a build link minus R. No, actually I'm substituting it with library root actually. How silly of me. So this build link transform L:(m:)root. That's what that does. That causes the library to go away and be substituted with library root. So even though the terminal shows you that it's going to try to link to the math library, it doesn't. And that happens in what's called the build link. Oh, let's go to the bottom here. Oh, hey, we got, there we are. The package is made. Let's go look, check out the package. Where's my package? And there it is. And I'm just going to move this out of here. I got it so these things would actually land in the directory. But I don't like having folders around them the way I have it set up. Okay, and I don't think I really touched on that. So, benefits of passive patching is if I try to build the earlier version of GNYA clock, it's going to build. If that's the only issue, it'll build a long way back, and it will build a long way forward until someone decides to get the GNAY clock project. Oh, I don't want to use iMake anymore. Okay, fine. Maybe it'll just build without the problems that I had here. But if it doesn't, I don't care. I don't have to worry about it anymore. New version comes out, don't have to worry about it. I like that. Especially when we're trying to port over 11,780 some odd packages to Haiku. Once it's built, we're done. So, actually, and when I upload my settings to GitHub, if anybody downloads my settings and uses my settings the way I have it set up, they'll just be able to build GNAY clock without patching. So I think that's a good thing. That's probably the way things should really go in the future. Patching is a tedious process. Now it takes a little bit of work to figure out how this was going. I was banging my head against the wall for a little while to get this thing to work, but I finally figured out, at least with tkgate, how to get it to path the makefile that was buried 2 directories down inside of the build. So actually, here in my solve folder, I really don't have patches to submit. I have a setting, so bye-bye. Alright. Let's try LM clock that, well, gosh darn it, has the same problem as the other one. Now I'm going to do, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to open the terminal, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that's useful if you're doing patching. And I'm not saying I'm never going to have to make patches again. I have patches, I make patches, but the less amount of patches I have to make, the better it is. So, what I'm going to do is go into the time category, LM clock, and this is useful. I finally found this out only because I tried it. If I do bmake extract and patch, very useful to know if you're doing patching, it will download the source code, extract it, and apply any patches the package source has for it. You just sit on your ass and do nothing and watch the pretty terminal go by. Then, when it's done, you can dig into your folder, and if you have files that you're going to end up changing, which I won't, but if you did, it's still not done with this whole patching deal here. Let's see. Let me point something out also. If you're making one of these things and you're having trouble getting your variable path, this is just an aside, because that LM clock's kind of redundant. Down here, remember how I had named my variable xawfix1? You do? Good. If that comes out to be 0 bytes, that means it didn't work. If it has more than 0 bytes, you can double click on it and look at it and see what exactly it did, or what file it actually edited. And in my case, it edited the make file in the root directory. Just so you know. So now I'm going to look and see. That's all unzipped now. Let's see where we're at. Got too many settings here. Too many. Also, I'm going to look up. Now, the only disadvantage of the way I have this set up, of course, is that patches are buried down here in the package source directory. That's LM clock, I think. Yes. So actually, there aren't any patches for this package just as yet, which is just fine with me. But it has extracted the contents, which is in my work directory, which I've made a symbolic link for. And I'll go down here to the time category. And actually, I'm just going to look, and it only has one directory. It's going to end up making a makefile with capital M. So all I really need to do, actually, is edit my little configuration setting here. So I'm going to open up PE because I like that better, because I'm a snot. And I'm going to say, or the package path equals what was it called? LM clock? Yes, LM clock. So it's going to do this routine if I try to build something in the time category called Ganaya clock or Lima clock. They probably have different names than that, like LM clock and GNYA clock, but who am I to say? So let's go ahead and do this. I didn't do a demo of it failing, but it will if I didn't do this. Now actually, this will fail. The reason why this will fail is because it already has read all my configurations, did the bmake extract and the bmake patch. So, at least I think so. So actually, yes, I'll go ahead and let this fail. Then I'll delete the folder, so then you can also get a clearer idea of when your settings from outside are going to work and when they're not going to work. Oh, I guess it did work, so I guess it reads that thing after the patch and extract. Or the linking takes place later. Oh, well, got a binary package. Alright, so that one's down. I guess I can get rid of that out of my solve folder. And pull clock, I believe, is much the same. Oh, great. I like that. So let's add pull clock. Now, if you're going to do an or and append to the next line, put a line like that. Basically, what these are shell commands. And so it behaves like things on the shell, in the shell. So pull clock. That's what that is. And I'm never going to have to, as long as I don't lose these things, I'll never have to do this again. Let's save this sucker. And this time I'm not going to bmake extract nothing. I'm just using the make file I saved from before. So as long as I didn't do something screwy, things should be okay. And I screwed up my conditional somehow. What did I do? I have to have an or there. Or, pack feather, blah, blah, blah. See? The double pipes are an or. So this will build. I think. I'm pretty sure it will be. Unless my notes were incorrect. I may well just look at the other one. Let's see. Time the pull clock. There was a patch for that. But it's not going to matter because it's doing it post patch. Build takes place after patch. So there's a pre-patch, patch, post-patch, pre-configure, configure, post-configure, a pre-build build and a post-build, a pre-install, install, and a post-install. I don't know. Well, yeah, you could probably do some useful things post-install as well. Tony, we can take the ugliest code you can throw at us, and we can build it without a patch. Nothing but net. Alright, so let's take a look at sun clock. Yeah? And, oh my lordy lordy, guess what? Same problem. What to do, what to do. So what I'm going to do, once again, I'm not going to forget my ors this time. And I might even have that already. Yes, I do. And then I'm just going to type the word sun clock. Verify that's what yeah, there we are. Empty that. I don't want my disk to get over 5% full because I have that luxury. Alright, so let's do this. And back. I'll type do because I'm lazy. I've already done that, actually. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do sun clock. I'm too lazy. It's expected to change directories for me. It's not going to happen, okay? Now, granted, if I have all the dependencies already installed, which of course that's what makes this look so easy. It'll work. But of course, I actually either, in the situation I'm in, is these will actually just build. If they don't, I gotta patch for them. And I like the patches, and I'm not worried about whether they're going to screw things up now. Alright, so let's see what Titrax has to say. Oh, same problem Titrax, but this one's got it in a sort. We got two of these suckers here. Let's see how I'm going to deal with that. Creating toolchain wrappers for Sunclock. And when Sunclock 1.6 comes out, am I going to worry about having to put some time in for making patches? No, I'm done. I already got that. I already got Sunclock 1.6 patched, okay? It doesn't even come out yet. I patched it already. That's how quick I am. That's no, that's the benefit of passive patching. That's what I'm trying to say. Can't be quicker than time itself. And we're done with that one. So Titrax may end up being somewhat of a challenge. So I'm gonna make sure that, let me just look. Look and see what it looks like. I'm gonna make extract. There we go. Bring it, extract, attach. Also, because I just don't like clutter. And personally, I like sitting on my ass while I'm porting over applications. It's quite exhilarating. Let's see what we have here. It's thinking about stuff. Did I add? You know, I didn't add. No, I just did the beginning because I was going to look to see the sort. I have not added the necessary setting yet because I just want to look and see what the source looks like. Okay. Let's take a look now. Hey, and we just got one folder. We got a capital M make file. This is good. Any guesses as to what I'm going to do to deal with this situation? You are correct, sir. I am going to put a slashy. I'm going to actually copy this because I have that luxury. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go T-I-T-I-X. Titrax. Now, if what was true before holds true now, I could just type do. File my nails, or do the laundry, come back, and I'll have a package, although it won't take that long. So, and then next time I set package source up, I won't have to do this because I already have these text files made. I just put them in place. And then I do the build bot thing, whatever that thing is. You know, build things in automated fashion is the buzzword of the day. As it happens to be at this juncture. The good thing about package source is once the package is built, the package structure actually holds, it's able to kind of land wherever you need to put it. So, for example, it's not going to need, let's go to time. Let's look at the contents, LM clock. As you can see here, it starts with the bin directory and it starts with the man directory. It doesn't have boot home package, package source, package source, package make, package source, config make, package. It just has where it goes. So if you need to move, you know, when the next Patching Haiku comes out, you need to put it in package, non-package, package, non-package in your home directory instead of just non-packaged or whatever. You can put it there as long as it'll accept and properly path your libraries for these programs when they're placed where they're supposed to go. So let's go up here. Do I have? Did I even start that thing? And doesn't know how to do it. That's okay. Well, let's toss them. Now maybe this will be a unique situation. Maybe I'm all washed up. Maybe, just maybe. Me and my outdated technologies. But command line. It's got to go. Maybe we can't hang in this modern world of graphical user interfaces. But of course, if you have cron or something like that, and a script that'll type bmake install, change directories to the root and bmake install, you don't even have to look at the command line. You don't want to. I do it because I have to build these things, but you wouldn't have to do that. Toolchain wrappers. Now it isn't working. I'm gonna figure out why that is. Did I misspelled Titrux? It's possible. You can do it. Yes, you can. Build that package. You have a plan. I don't remember this thing actually having a... I don't know why I put a source directory there. Why did I do that? Really, the base of the source is right here into the Titrux folder. There we go. And we're done. So I'll get rid of that. Bye-bye. Don't know how to do that. Now what's the deal here? Why is it doing that? Don't know how to make... How come we got that far and then didn't know how to make it again? What's the deal with this now? That is quite interesting. I wonder if I make recreate, like Python recreates this file. I think I have to do this. I have to add a post build part of the build. And let me log and let's see if it actually 11 bytes. So it did. It affected the make file. And for whatever reason, iMake is set up to make the make file twice. It makes it the first time, and then makes it again. I bet you this back file perhaps has the 6 in it. So, and the problem is, that happens during, I'll try to see if I can, okay, this is interesting. I was getting bored here. So I'm going to try to do a post build. I'm going to add a post build stage to this damned thing. So paste come lazy. And I'll go here, and we don't need an and, we do need an if. And I'm going to call this number 2. I'm going to call this post build. I guess it tries to build a second time after it's already built, which doesn't make a damned bit of sense, now does it? And I should have 2 messages now in my log file directory. XAWFix1, XAWFix2. So, what am I going to do with all this source code? Have terminal open. Yes, I do. Activate the tractor beam. Alright, let's see if that works. If it doesn't, I'm going to figure something else out. Figure out when that exactly is happening, and when pkgsrc thinks the build stage is done, and when it thinks the build stage is not done. And these are notes, if you need to keep them for this. Now, you can add all these variables to your mk.conf file if you want, but the damn thing's going to get big. You could also put it in the packages make.conf file. In fact, I should probably look at that to see whether the package source people have, you know, stuck a stick in the wheel. Trying to do something else. So, package source time. This is, what is this thing called? What is this damn thing? Citrix. Something like some drug or something. Yeah, what are they doing here? Do they use that kind of stuff? Do not sell for real money. I don't see they're doing any of that kind of fancy schmancy city folk stuff here. Let's see what happens. Okay, first let's look at the logs. I gotta watch these logs so they don't. So that, yeah, okay, there we go. There's 1, there's 2. Now the problem is I wasn't looking at the other one. Yeah, I think I'm too late. Or am I? We'll see. It looks like we have a success. Yes, we do. So, scratch that off my list. Oh, I already tossed the files aside. So the reason why I had 2 there is because you change the first one and then it goes away and then you got to replace it. So I'd rather have Bash do that for me because I really am lazy. I only like I just want to move my arm, my hand slightly, and maybe bend forward to touch the keyboard once in a while when I'm putting apps. Eventually I will recruit my cat to help me. Alright, so let's look at xcal. What kind of issue? Oh, is this one a grand finale of a... Oh, this is like a trifecta of LIbx11 issues. So this one, I'm going to have to pad 3 of these suckers and have it in the base directory. So, that's what we're going to do here. Good news is I got one of these damn things down here. A copy and a paste. So yeah, right now on camera, I'm making the stuff I'm going to upload again. Patched for all time. So this is what, xcal? Alright, so I'm going to call this LIbx11 3. Now the deal is, I'm going to track all three of these separately. So, it's still got the same problem, so I don't need to worry about the mechanics of it, you know. And if I went back a week later, I would say, oh, okay, I'll just copy paste. You know, I don't have to figure this crap out again. No, what do I have to do? Oh, it's like this. Oh, the quotes go here. Oh, no quotes go in there. Got up the plus here, or it's not going to work. You know? None of that stuff. And then other people can do, that's right, the same thing. They could just copy the stuff I've done and build more. And they could say, hey, I got a patch for your substitute classes in the package subdirectory. And I go, really? That's great. And they could just patch this thing, and then I'll have 5 or 6 more lines to this thing, and something else will build. All right, so I have to, first of all, now in this case, I don't need 3 conditionals. The first one, as if I could tell, is just going to be there. The second one is going to be I am a lazy son of a bitch. I'm just going to type P. Okay, I'll call this one 4. That's the only. That's a lot of typing. Having to type 5 lines of stuff, and it's just, God, don't know what I'm going to do. Then, edit, copy. I'll do it for this other one here. Porting applications for you live on YouTube. Of course, YouTube isn't live. We got that. Okay. Counts number 4. I'll call this number 5, right? If I forget to do that, I might have a little bit of a problem. And then let's go over here. Last one. Edit. Copy. For the Grand Slam. Call this number. Oh, wait. 3, 4, 5. I gotta make sure the label at the top matches the label down there. Good thing I didn't forget about that before. And that I'm not trying to go after the same thing. And let's see, just double check. We got an xcal, a pcal, and a xcalive. Because I'm lazy, I'm going to copy that. Xcalive. Now these are post bills. Now this one, I actually want the first one to be. No, these could all be pre-builds, actually. I think. And then if it's got the double whammy, I could always add more. We have the most unportable slop of source code thrown at us, and we'll scoop it up. Alright, so let's try this. Am I not even in that one, am I? I'm in the other one, which is the xcal. cd ... You know, I'm not going to waste the bmake extract because it doesn't matter. Oh, let's do it. I'm just going to watch. Okay, save that. That's good. Now let's just look at. No, wrong place. Up here. Here. There's the xcal. There's work. Let's see. Now I'm looking for Zofix. I think it's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Round and round she goes. Where the make fairs land, nobody knows. Get out of here, kid, you bother me. Still gotta do the LIbx11 stuff, because dealing with passwords and the way they're formatted was one of the major stoppers after. All right. The package source people patch the shit out of that. It's not going to matter. It's probably going to help all the security fixes. I don't have to worry about it. It's fantastic, I tell you. I don't even have to write a recipe. Now, I think you can do this kind of thing in Haiku Porter in the recipes, but you have to know what you're doing with Python, which I don't. So, this is why I'm doing it this way. One reason. Because I knew eventually I'd probably be able to figure out things like this. Building Verx. Okay, so what is our... Alright, so all 4 of them have applied. Oh, there's one that did not work. Number 4. So this may be misleading. We shall see. Well, I'll be diddly damned. It worked. Alright, so one of them didn't even work. So, which one was that? The one with the 0 there actually didn't change anything. Let's see, what was that supposed to be for? I can get rid of that maybe. Don't want clutter in my precious code. Alright, let's take a look down here. 4. Is that another program? I may have accidentally combined the contents. PSCal. But it's still. Let's see, is there a make file in here with an XAW on it? Or maybe it just doesn't want to link to that. Guess it's not an issue. Or maybe my package is a little... Now, the good thing about package sources, they already have pre-made package lists. So if I'm missing something, it would have said, hey, you're missing something. And it should have stopped. So I'm going to get rid of this 4 here. In fact, did 3 even work? So 3 worked, 5 and 6 worked, 4 did not. So just... You're fired. Alright, there we go. Now I'll move this indif up because I want to be tidy. Alright, so is that, yeah, what is it, xcal? I'm so fast I can't even keep up. Yeah, xcal. Bye-bye. And X timer. Get a full backup of this, Dan. This is probably the first one. Oh, this is gonna be a combination between a patch, a real patch, and a passive patch. So, sure we got an XA. Yeah, it's right there. So, we want to take care of the passive patch, so it links. Now, what are other people going to do with this? Okay, so if you're trying to use my stuff and you're looking for an answer, you can still find an answer in my stuff. Like if you're trying to port something over Haiku Porter. I'm doing this specifically I could have had, if I wanted to, if I really thought about it, I probably could have buried it. I could have had some global setting to look in every capital M make file for those variables and just swap it out. And the only thing I'd have to worry about were these trifectas and things like that. I'm doing it this way so specifically people could actually look at my config files and see what I've done to get things to build if it happens to be a passive patch. If you want a patch. So I'm trying to get the information out even though. So eventually I'm actually going to go through and I'm going to disable my math library autofix. And I'm going to go down and the only thing that will fail, I'll have it so the only thing that will fail will be the math library. And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to have another config file just for the math library. It's going to have a list of all the programs that do the math library. So if you want a patch, you can look at that, or you can look at my patches for things I didn't take care of in the settings. But you're encouraged to use the latest technology. Yeah, I'm silly. Okay, where's the work? Okay. All this clutter is giving me a headache. Into the rubbish for you. Alright, so let's take a look at Xtimer here. Let's see what the hell I did. If I can figure out what the hell I did here. It's got some bad encoding down. What the hell is that? What did I do? Add that? It's a bunch of question marks. That's my patch. Right there. See that? Those little question marks. Sir, that's my patch. No, it's not my patch. I don't know what my patch is, but I'll find out. You want to know how I'm going to find out? A package source is going to tell me. But first of all, I'm going to extract, I'm going to do the bmake, extract the patch thing to see whether anybody else is going to be patching this Xtimer thingamabobber. Because I don't want to like remove patches that are, I want to actually have a chance for these patches to also to get into the package source mainline. Okay, so where are we? I'm right here. But where you are is unknown to me. So let's, what the hell was I doing? Xtimer, that's right. CD, CD Xtimer. Xtimer for the old timer. So now I'm going to do bmake extract. And if you just did bmake extract with 1T, it would download the source code and extract it into the work directory. If you do bmake extract patch, it downloads the source code, extracts it, patches the files if patches exist, but it doesn't continue to attempt the compile process. This is useful, and you'll see why. If someone has already patched Xtimer, all you got to do is copy in my Confederate patch to override their version. Probably want to look at my Confederate patch to make sure that their stuff has been applied. I think it probably has, because I built this originally package source and it would have already applied. And then you do the make patches command, the make patch sum, delete the duplicates that are marked .original. Now, if there's no one's patched this before, I make a duplicate of the file, change it from xtimer.c space copy to xtimer.c.original. And then I copy in this to pave over the other file that'll actually, the program will try to build with, because I've already done the work. So I'm not going to do it again. And then once I know it'll build, then I do the bmake patches. No, the make patches, MK patches. Then I go look in the directory, see my patches there, set it aside, put it in my solve directory so I can load it up to GitHub. I end up having to FTP all this stuff out and FTP it down, and then go into Windows because I don't know the command line git yet. So let's just start with that. Okay. 2 of my it's just going so fast, you know, and I have to do this. Did I add this? I didn't add this for X timer. I'll probably just use. Actually, I probably could have. This one here, I could have done this. And I could have done that. So actually, but now I got a problem. Or do I? No, I have copy and paste to the rescue. So I got those 2 there, and this one. And can't forget my indif. Oh yeah, and these things are particular the way they're laid out. So copying is always good, because if you forget a little quote here or you have a little space after your bar, everything, you know, you'd say, yes, you can't, you know, figure out what the problem is. This is going to be time X timer, but I'm going to look and see where that make file is. And so this could still stay as 3 because xcal is going to have a 1, a 5, and a 6. In fact, I'll make this a 4. Nah, I don't want to mess with it. Alright, so I'm going to keep that as 3. And I'm still doing the same thing. Just got a whole little C. I might make my own little XAW substitute. It doesn't really appreciably slow things down either. It really doesn't. So xcal got these 2. There's the X timer. We got that. Let's take a look and see what shows up in the work directory. Where is my make? Oh, that's nice. So it's only got one of these suckers, and no one's patched it. Let's make sure that's true. Bmake. I've done the up arrow to make. Yeah, bmake. I've only done the extract. I have not done the patch. Maybe the patch. You also do it separately, I believe. Of course, if no patches exist, as is in this case, I'm going to verify that because I haven't actually done it that way before. Picture time. Let's see, what is this thing again? X timer. And there isn't a patch for. So okay, so I'll have the first patch for X timer. Woohoo! Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Duplicate this sucker. Edit the name. .rig. So I got my xtimer.c, xtimer.rig. These are identical now until such time as I file the copy, file, paste. I'm also going to be able to see what the hell I changed, because I don't know exactly when I did this, and it may be before I was enlightened. So, okay, so this actually should build. If I, you know, if there's something else unusual I don't remember or I didn't make a note of it, by the way, I laid the files out. You know, it's kind of makes sense to me because I put files in places so I'd remember things, but that's the only problem. It doesn't really translate to someone else's mind unless they know the context of what I'm doing. Okay, so over there, I mean, I didn't make patches yet, but I'm going to do it after it builds. Why I would change this iMake file, I don't know. It's pretty generic at this point in time. So let's do the children remember. We'll see. We'll see if there's any other surprises in the store. There's a reason why I kept that. I just don't remember what that was. Now that I don't remember. Number 1, we have the all fixed. Reset 0, and it's 11 bytes, so it's done that. It's saying it wants to install. Let's see if there's any double whammy surprises like there was with that other one. Doesn't look like there is. No, there isn't. So, done. And you're done. So, yeah, and you have to even make notice 8089, whatever the hell it was. And why the hell did I keep a full backup of that is beyond me. So, move this to track. In fact, you know, I have nothing. I have no patches for time. They're all settings. They're passive patches, basically. So, going down here, I've gone the archivers, benchmark biology, the chat, the converters, got through development, got through editors, and I was working on emulators. Emulators, games, languages I've done partially. So I got a little bit to go. I got from emulators to sysutils, actually text processing, to get to the point where I have actually made all the things that I was able to solve publicly available to other people. So what I'm working on is that process. Time category went rather nicely. So just close that. So long as I remember to upload my settings and my patches, everything's good. And I think I will. So, and all these I'll just move later. And then I haven't done then I'll do my bulk builds. After I do all the stuff that I had to work through, then I'll just do my bulk builds, and I'll see what numbers come up in this build. Now the build rate has gone down, but it was only temporary. You would have to actually try to download a version of Haiku that doesn't have the strings header sub-included in the string header to have the lower build rate that I'll have as a result from that. But I also anticipate I'm going to have a higher build rate for other reasons. I don't seem to be having as many with headers as I had before. But I guess before I go in this porting frenzy, because I've pretty much shown this, what I should talk about are my patches for the X11 set. And for Lynx, spelled Lynx. Now, I did a video a long time ago, or it seems like a long time, probably like 4 or 5 months ago, where I was, okay, this is what I did to get Lynx to work, and then I got down, there's this one file that came up, and I just didn't know what to do, and I think even on camera I just deleted a bunch of lines and said, well, this is all I could do, at least it builds, and maybe someone could fix it. Well, I found out what the fix was today, and that basically is in a good rule of thumb to know about. I'll probably put this in the title. Along with you got so many different things that are actually worth talking about, but if you get a piece of code that has undefined reference in it and has something to do with getting the user ID, a password, or a location in a directory or something like that, the first thing to try is to include the pwd.h header. And so let's just look at the Lynx patch I have here. The only patch I have. And then all that really need to be done, this is not a hack anymore, but the one I have up at GitHub at this hour, which will, in a few hours won't be there anymore, has a note next to it. Should have had a note next to it saying this patch is a hack. But in this case, all I had to do is just add the pwd.h header, and it built. Didn't have a problem. So again, it was a matter of headers, and that actually does make sense because, you know, I would assume we have mostly complete headers, and the only real difference is between, we have the same compiler, the same tool set. Why isn't it building? Either we don't have a header, or the header I need to use is not included. So and you notice I didn't put an if-def here for Haiku. Well, I'm not doing that yet. There is a pwd.h header somewhere buried in some if-def that doesn't get triggered when Haiku tries to build, and that's why it's not working. But I mostly anticipate that these patches are only going to be used by people that use Haiku. If I would end up bringing this into package source into their patches, then I would do more if-defing. But right now I'm not going to. Right now I'm going to try to find answers. Then I'll worry about nitty-gritty if-defs maybe later. So, and of course I'm not Tom, so I don't think so. Well, maybe Tom made this thing in March 9th, 2014. Anyway, so just include that and you're done. So all that, I was struggling for hours for that, and if I'd done that. So one good thing to know is kind of after a while you get some familiarity with what these headers actually do. So if you, and I've mentioned this before, if you come across an error that's got some kind of uint_t or just int and a number and an underscore t, you're missing the standard int.h header. Just open up the text file you're trying to build where the error comes up. Go to the top or close, underneath where all the writing is. Just type pound include space and put these two little, in between these two carets, stdint.h, save the file, and the build will continue without a problem. It doesn't work all the time, and I'll show you, it doesn't work all the time to have the pwd.h header included, because some of the code apparently isn't POSIX compliant. But our pwd.h header is POSIX compliant. So we built it that way, and if, of course, the code that relies on our header to not be POSIX compliant, it won't build. So I actually got that. Okay, so let's take a look at LIbx11 here, actually. So there's only one file, and then there's other things you need to know. That's more important than what I mentioned yesterday. First, I'll get to this. So one of the two issues that happens with LIbx11 is that the code that's incorporated in various parts of X11 libraries, and there's a whole large set of them. I'll just, go in here. All these are all X11 type libraries that I've built. There's a handful of them that in one or two of the files they have this kind of verbiage, PW stands for password. PW equals, the password parameter. It'll complain. There's not enough arguments, or this is not a type, or this, I don't know. Half these errors say. But this verbiage here, this PW equals get PWUID and get EUID, comes straight from the POSIX standards, and all I did is I was struggling with this, and I thought, well, let's see what happens if I change this up with what they got, what the POSIX people have on their thingamabobs, if I could actually find the thing. Yeah, here it is. So I just got it from there. And I didn't use PW, but I used, get PWUID, there you are. And the damn thing built. Now, whether that's inadequate or not, I don't know, but it's better than what I had before, where I just said, oh, this shit doesn't work, get rid of it. So at least I know that my LIbx11 is using the variables that Haiku wants it to use to the extent that it will build. Now, whether it's has enough stuff in there, and I did get rid of an else because I only know how to do this, so it would end up having do this or do this, which is of course the same thing. So I may not exactly have the best setup, but I haven't gotten rid of the functionality of having a user in there, which is progress for me. I used the same kind of thing in one other patch that I did. There's one package that I have not been able to, I'm probably going to now try, because using the technology that I found with the timers I just did there, I was having trouble getting XCB's makefile to do what it needed to do. Remember what exactly that was. Oh, this is a mess. It doesn't. This wants to use headers, but it doesn't like to do the bracket thing. It wants the whole path. And fortunately, there's isn't really a way to. I'd have to really alter the way this works to have a. But this makefile, if it were more proper, would have another file that would bring these things in, so that way they could vary, you know, and so I know people that use package source aren't going to want to have boot system develop in their, and I know that the people that use Haiku aren't going to want to have the boot home package include, but this works for me, so I have it right now as a replacement. And I don't really think I would actually, it would take me a long time to set out the stuff that iMake wants to put in that file versus what I want to end up in there in the end. So, and it doesn't really patch because you can't make something patch after iMake has created a makefile. You can't really patch a makefile if it's made during the build process, as far as I know. I have to figure out how to do that. So for now, this is the one thing that's going to set aside, but I got distracted there a little bit. That's not really the important thing. Which one was it? Was it LIbxCB that I... Oh, yeah. Well, to go over this, I guess, let's get to XProto. Was it Xtrans? No. Probably XT. It was another one of these, almost the same kind of language. I kind of rearranged stuff, and I don't think these two lines did much, but at the end of the day, I got it to use the POSIX stuff, and I got rid of this other stuff. Whether that's good or not, I know it's a lot better than it was before. So, but anyway, okay. Now the base, the thing is that you have to be careful of with X11, and I didn't really realize this till today, is XProto will just build. But it can also just build with things that will cause your other stuff to just not build. Because they won't line up with the fact that we don't use Sunlen. So, and I also have, in this case, I've actually completely recreated a header that Xtrans wants to use. This patch just includes the strings. There's one file that needed the strings. And the configure. Okay, this is what ends up happening. When XProto builds, these two end up being headers in your package source include X11 directory. The other X packages will build upon. And if it doesn't have if it has Sunlin in there, in fact, I had to go back even after dealing with the Sunlin stuff, and I had to do something else, and I don't remember exactly what that was, to get it to turn out. There was some kind of... I had to add the strings header after I built it. It built without the strings header included. The reason why I have the strings header included is because some other package, when it builds, it's going to look for this XOS_RH header for stuff, including stuff that needs to come from the strings header. And if it doesn't find it, it'll say, undeclared function at this and that and the other thing. And so I pretty much have sorted out the issues actually that come up. So this, I think this XOS header is included in the XOS_H, or maybe separately. Anyway, I've also incorporated all the... I've either left the package source stuff in there, so some of these patches by package source are designed to allow the package to build in package source, sometimes not. But basically, I've worked through that. You have to use... You definitely want to use all these patches, and they're all the latest versions. So it builds. The only question is, am I going to have the same symptoms I had before? Am I going to have, even if I put the stuff I build into non-packaged, am I going to have trouble with the stuff pathing? And I still don't know whether I'm going to have trouble with FFTW in the math library. And since I'm on such a roll, I wouldn't want to spoil my presentation by doing that and showing that it still doesn't link up right. Okay, so... What the heck was that? I was in the solve directory. So I've gone over that. Basically, I'm just going to continue going down here. Let's see, what is this? Geximul. This needed LIbNetwork. Now, basically, if it just needs LIbNetwork, there's a number of things you can try. It isn't always, one method to getting library network in there will work, and sometimes it won't. So there's numerous methods to get library network in there. So that is not Xtimer. Instead, I don't need two of those. I already have it open. This is Geximul, as far as I could tell. So I think this is one way. Basically, it'll try to add library network to the build process in a way that's not completely clear to me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the build will fail if you include it. Let's see what this thing called. What is this thing called? GXEMUL. And not even there anymore. Okay, GXEMUL. And we are emulator. Let's see if it works. See, now sometimes it works like this. You just gotta see if it works. If it doesn't, you try substitute classes. You can see where is library network showing up. Is it in a capital M make file? Okay, let's do this. Let's do the said thing. Let's pick. If there's a math library in there, switch it out for a math library. Right. What I did here is I switched out LIbx11.a with LIbx11.6.a. Right there. Well, I could do the same thing if the math library is in there. I could switch up LM with LNetwork. Now, that could be dangerous in some regards because I'm setting the whole file. This LIbx11.a is probably not going to end up being a chunk of some important code somewhere. That's unique enough. The problem with math library is it's pretty small. So you gotta be careful to make sure. Anyway, so I'm gonna want to look at the landscape of that whole thing. Right now, I'm just gonna see if I could just get it to add the library network without setting anything out. And to me, that seems to be safer. Next thing I need to remember is, did I actually set these patches for box aside? Yes, I did. Alright, so let's give her a shot. There's no guarantee it's going to work. Between all the methods I have, one of them is going to work. That I am... wouldn't bet my life on it, but I'm fairly certain about that. Don't know how long this will take to build. So as time goes by and as you find answers, you know, and you remember what those answers are, when you do builds, then the solutions actually tend to be repetitive. And so, you know, no sense in, in messing with the variability of what can come with a make file or a source code when you can have a solution set that's more or less uniform. Or examples can be copied from other examples. You know, like this. Look at all the way I'm using one technique to deal with all these different packages here. Some of the techniques are repetitive. I probably really should try out xcal again to make sure I don't think it's screwed up. But I do like, before I release stuff, I do like test running. In fact, let's do that. So I know that if someone starts out from the beginning, it's going to work for them. Now, I'm not going to know if this is going to fail because the library network till the end. This I expect will just build, otherwise I made an error that I didn't realize that I made. I'm probably going to be able to toss this. And again, there's just another passive patch. Just one more thing that doesn't have to be patched. And the fix applies to more than one version. And the maintenance burden goes down, yada, yada, yada. So here we go. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, okay, here we go. This is a primary example of string, so there will be a patch for this GXEMUL. It's saying that there's a file called CPU ARM in the CPUS directory that doesn't have this str case comp function in it. Now, just to be clear, I'm aware that if I were to download a new version of Haiku from last night, today's November 3rd, that I wouldn't have this problem. So I wouldn't have to add the strings header to this. But it is so easy to do that I'm going to do it because I know why this was temporarily the way it is, and basically if Haiku were to be absolutely POSIX compliant, we'd have more of these errors. But, and this is not a black mark on Haiku, okay? Fuck. We have included the strings header in string because there were too many of these errors that were coming. It was just too numerous. What I'm going to try to do is build as much as I can and actually provide patches for these versions for the strings header. So if people making haiku want, and if I get enough of these done, or other people join in getting these things done, then it won't matter because we will have patches to deal with the fact that we're POSIX compliant. Sounds kind of backwards, but that's the way it is. I'm still going to make the effort, and it won't hurt for me to include the strings header. And if my patches survive or evolve over time and the strings header is still in there, it won't be that big of a tragedy if that redirect from the string header to strings is removed at a later date. Now, as lazy as I am, or as trying to be as efficient as I am in advocating or speaking up for passive patching, it's kind of counter to what my whole theme is. But I'm doing this nonetheless because I'm not just about what I want to do. Other people want to use this system, and they may want to use it in different ways. And so if it's easy for me to try to help out that way, I will. So that's what I'm going to do. Otherwise, I would just start over again. So, getting back to this. Now, to deal with this, oh yeah, so the second point, the more important point is, sometimes code that's older, and if the more generally accepted location of the strings header is moved, so it used to be in system strings. Now it's in just strings, you know, with the brackets around it, not with sys/strings with the bracket around it. If you get an older piece of source code that has the sys and then the slash and the strings, you see this error and it's got the sys/strings in it. You just remove the sys and the slash, just so it just has strings, and the error will go away. So that's the reason why I'm showing it here, is so because there are going to be some other cases that even though we've included the strings header and string, if the code isn't designed to look in the same place that most strings header are in, it'll still fail with this kind of error. But this is how you recognize that you need to include the strings header. It's because you're going to get an error that looks like Strakoscomp. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to look, I'm going to go in the work directory, I'm going to look at the CPU_armcc file that is in the CPU subdirectory. In this case, I'm actually going to make a patch. I don't remember what this was. Now, on my official counts, I don't count these Linux binary NetBSD only. It's just a side comment. My emulator count is far less than 328 because some of them simply will not work in Haiku because Haiku doesn't provide Linux binary compatibility. It really isn't a package that's built from source either. Okay, so let's look at this is called Giximul. And what was I looking at that for? Right, but I'm in the wrong directory and you go in the work directory. I'm still not completely used to having this here. Okay, so so I'm looking for a CPU's directory. I don't see one yet, but now I do. And the file name is, once again, CPU ARM CC, so no one's made a patch of it yet. .rig. There you go. Simple fix. And then when I'm done building this, then I'm going to unlock the file. The patches include Now, side comment on this. Including the strings header actually could help other platforms that are actually POSIX compliant in the same way that our platform is. So it doesn't necessarily, I don't think it really hurts to do it this way. Just because strings is included in string doesn't mean it's going to fail because that's there. It will, however, it will fail if the patch is applied and they don't have a strings header. At least in the root of the include directory, but I doubt that's the case. I'm anticipating that my patches will still won't complain if I were to download a nightly from tonight that doesn't have the strings struts comp, whatever issue. It'll still build. So notice I've created a .rig file. So that way when I do the make patches command, it looks for .rigs, compares to originals, and it'll do a diff between the two of them and put a patch in the patches folder, which actually is in the package search directory. And so far there are a number of patches for this. What I need to worry about is if any of these patches that are not labeled all too friendly just yet, they're transition over there at package source, will clash with mine. If it will, so that's why I do the bmake extract patch first, so I could see it's already started to build. I really don't have to look at these. I could tell you that since there is no cpu_arm.cc.rig file already pre-existent there, that they don't have one, but I'm just going to look anyway. It says what the name of the file they're patching is up there at the top. So, the question is, yes, I did change something. Close this, and I can go back, and where am I, terminal? So now I should be able to continue. Until such time as there is another strings header that's not included, or or whatever, or it finishes. So I do have a patch for this. I'm going to want it when this is done. I'm going to want to run the mk patches command that will only work if you've built the package diff package that comes in package source that's in the package tools subdirectory. See, right now I'm in the emulator subdirectory. In package tools, there's a package called package diff. If you build that, then you'll have the binary called make patches, and you'll be able to do what I'm going to show on camera here. If this doesn't take too long. It's still building. None of these really take all, and again, I've set a few other precedents just to make sure that this is a lot faster than it needs to be. The builds go faster, and it doesn't really seem to... Eventually, it does slow down. That's after a much longer time, and it's still... sometimes it'll still freeze up when I'm doing bulk builds overnight. Unfortunately, but the overall performance is much better. It's a noticeable performance improvement, and building from source isn't so painfully slow that you wonder why you're doing it. It's probably another strings issue. Yeah, there it is. CPU M88KCC is in the... Oh, man. So, do I already have a duplicate of that? No, I don't. So, let's duplicate that. Now, when I was building MIT Kerberos, I had like 11 of these. Edit the name. But it's nice to know what the error is. And just be able to deal with it like that. Just get them all done. Get them all done. Spring ding 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 doo. So there may be more of these. How many more do I got? Whoa! We'll see how it goes. So I don't know what this Geximol actually does. I've used Box before. I've never used Geximol. I have used QEMU. Now here comes another one. Our build rate is skyrocketing to 5%. This will help the build rate, what I'm doing here. It actually will. This is probably the most efficient way, as strange as it sounds, to get headers included in code. Just every once in a while take one out, and then you have this predictable error that comes up, and then woo, just get them all done, you know, and then deal with the next one. This right here, this UINT, that's from standard INT. There comes another one. Tad Burnett. Let's see, what is this? PowerPC. It's probably going to have every single architecture here. We'll need strings. Strings, time for play the violin and crocodile tears. Cry me a river. Alright, let's see how this goes. I'm gonna get out the CPU's directory. Sometimes it's strings are always wanted concentrated in some directory. So now we're working on PowerPC. Maybe, no, it's probably another architecture. Which one's this? A CPU-sh. I got a CPU-sh machine myself somewhere. Actually, I don't really know what the hell that is, but anyway, I'll do it for the CPU-sh machines. So don't, and if you're, don't take this as strings. This is me willfully trying to add a strings header to code. This is not, this is, I've known, me adding this, I've known to blame but myself for adding these strings, but I don't feel like blaming anybody. I feel like actually adding that header and providing patches. Got a Dynatrans. What's going on here? Debugger. Where is that? It's in the debugger. Okay, so we got all the CPU's directory. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I'll be here all night. I'm gonna die here, I say. Unlock fun. I gotta look some of these things up and see what they do. I mean, pretty cool. Strings. And I haven't tried to run any of these things. I just get them to build. I'm like a used car salesman. But I don't sell these things though, so. You won't get a lemon. Let's see what's going on here. Here's the B box. There it goes. The B box didn't need strings. excluding the B box from functionality? We discriminated against the B box. I want to have protesters. But it didn't complain, so it must be okay. When it makes these little O files, it means it's turned the source code into object code. Ooh. Trivia. All this stuff here, I guess we're building stuff in here because, you know, you can see these things are, you know, numbers going up, things are moving. I was gonna make like this gag commercial, but not really gag. It would kind of help for the cause. It would be for the cause. So this would be like slot machine. I sell it like a slot machine. Download our slot machine, and if it makes a target zip file, you're a winner. And you get free software. Your prize is free software. But decided against it because I just got too many things to do. But it would have been fun if I... Okay, so now what do we got here? We have a... This may be... Bad... Oh, no, there is. And this boot block ISO 9660 CC in the disk directory. There we go. And we're gonna make a duplicate of that. We're gonna edit that there name right there. Make that an ORIG because I can't spell original. And I'm gonna edit this sucker. So Apple doesn't need that. They're way ahead of us. Unlock the file. So probably the easiest way to get a 100% POSIX compliant operating system is, well, I'm not going to suggest it. Turn a header off now and then, and I'll come along and fill up the gaps, but I don't know if I'm up to that. This, I can see the light in the tunnel. Do it, Geximul. Now we have, are we still in the disk? Yes, we are. Disk image CC. I can imitate any Charlie Brown parent character precisely. Now, it would be nice to be able to use some kind of, you know, but you don't know which one of these things the errors are going to be. Now, on the other hand, if I wasn't doing this to try to just humor the cause, you know, I'm trying to just work with the cause, right? If I wasn't doing this for the cause, I would make a note of which one of these files was missing include strings, and I would add that to the file using the substitute classes function. I think I might be able to do that, but I do want to, if I can't go, you know, help the POSIX cause, you know, it's easy, I'll do it, you know. Even though I'm not pro POSIX, you know. We're in the machines directory now. We are making progress, ladies and gentlemen, and we will have our includes a fully POSIX Geximul. Well, I don't know if it's fully, but so machine CC scump. Duplicate of that. Yeah, easy. This is easy. Anybody can do this. Easy. Who's complaining about porting around here? I have. Oh, because you know why? I didn't add the strings header. See? Just keep no difference in size. Got to add the header, or you can have the error. See? Got to unlock the file to write. Now I could copy this. And copy and paste it, but I'm not that smart. So. Let's see how many more of these damn machines want this stuff. Now, of course, there's another way to do this. If there's one, if the source code has like a header that every one of these things includes, you can add the strings to that header that comes with the source code, and then it'll provide the strings inclusion that I've added to every one of these things also. But I'm not going to spend that kind of time to figure, you know. I'm going to clutter up the patch mill. Where am I anyway? Let's see. Can't tell what directory we're in. It's probably not this one because the files are not. Okay. That looks like, okay, I've yet to go into there. I gather. We're here. Or maybe not anymore. Well, find out. Old main. There it is. Okie dokie. What stopped this time? Why, it's a emule parse file. Duplicate that. Open it up. Yeah, in case you thought I was tired, I'm not. Start them up again. How many more of these damn things do I have to go? Memory, misc, settings, timer. Okay, we got out of that. Probably in the plugins directory. No. The hell are we? Alright, so now it's saying that this NetIP thingamabob is wanting library network. It's actually trying to link, and this is, well, it's in the base directory. Number 1, it's in the source directory. Oh yeah, so it's not inside. Right. Now the thing is, you know, and sometimes it just isn't going to happen the way I want it. Now you look at my example. We're talking about the same make file first of all. Probably going to want to open that up with a better editor like PE. Here at the top, see what we're saying. Okay, this is the same file. And in the other libs. So now I'm going to try this out here. Now, this I believe we're at the linking stage. Now, I'm going to want to make patches, but I want to test out. Here's my dilemma. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, I don't need this xcal anymore, do I? Kid, you, okay, let's, I'm going to make the patches now. And so I preserve all the things I've done before. Oh my god, look at that. Jesus. There's a lot of duplicates there. Okay, alright, look at all that. The ones that have 0 bytes are the ones that I did. As the original. There was no patch, so the original of the patch that didn't exist is 0. And I'm going to do the make patch sums, bmake. Make patch sum. Good news is I actually don't have to get rid of all these .rigs. I am going to want to set these aside. And the thing is, I'm going to want to start over again because I'm actually going to want to try to use, instead of haiku, libs.haiku, I'm going to do it so it's other libs haiku, and let's see if that works. I haven't tried that before. But now that I have my patches, the patches will actually apply. I'm probably going to want to get rid of those rigs, but let's just go in here. Libs.make. Now, just putting that there isn't going to do anything, unless, of course, I have Alt-X, not Control-X. Do that. Dot if the package path equals gxmer. Do this. There we are. So that is saved. There's another option to come up. And I still have an example in case it doesn't want to do what I want it to do. And I may want to use this antenna. I don't know what the original thing was there, but I may want to use this thing. It may fail, and if it does, then I'm going to have to see. I'm going to have to look at the make file that comes up and see what it has in there, and then modify it. This libs.make relative to what pops up here to get it to do what I want. I also see, this is the thing I'm not sure. See, it did have a libs variable, and it didn't add that, so it may be that I'm going to want to do substitute classes. So you know, there's all different kinds, and then I could look at examples at in the package source directory for this was emulators small. See if any of these other packages are trying to do something similar. Sometimes, like, there we go, LD flags. So, okay, so I actually want to use LD flags haiku. This example from SunOS is trying to inject the LSocket LNSL. So did I even copy that? So I actually don't really want that there. So there's no blah 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 blah. Alright, so that should probably work. The patches will probably work. This might end up succeeding on this next build. I think. I might have more. There was one directory that may not have had the source code finished build. Sometimes it'll try to link and then go back to building. But if those settings work for SunOS, it'll work for, with their network light, it's going to work for Haiku, so that's not going to be an issue. So I think what's going to happen, it's going to build. And the question is, do I want to get rid of these damn things now? Do I want to set aside? I actually do. If I have to do any more patching, I'm going to do that. Now the question, what I'm supposed to be doing is paying attention to the size of these things. But I know that the only patching I've really done is for the string's header, which is not that. Not that. Not that. Those are things I just don't even understand. Not that. Not that. Let's get rid of this sucker here. Okay, so we're not. So now it's going to be down to, it sounds the original nothing. And they're the same size. Also, I could look. If it's close, that just means there's a blank space there. And question, did I make a copy of that? Why would I make a copy of that before I trashed it? I did. I made it. I didn't duplicate it. Okay, must be getting tired. This now this is interesting. I may end up patching configure and putting LNetwork in there. That isn't too friendly to the other folks. So let's get rid of this. Now, what the hell is the difference here? I don't exactly remember editing configure. So I should not have changed. Trash. 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 This is new, so copy file, paste, and where the hell are you? Into the trash, use 0 byte. Copy, paste. How many damn things I made? Trash. There we go. File, copy. The reason why I know it's the one I made, you know, the patch didn't exist before now, right? Trash and PPC. Get all this stuff. ARM MIPS. There we go. File and copy and paste and the 1 and the 2. Trash and the SH file and the copy and the file and the paste and the 1 and the 2 and delete in the trash and delete in the trash. Copy, file, paste. These are the same size, so no, I did not make that one. This boot block ISO, I'm going to want to copy. And I probably could have done that more efficiently. Probably could have deleted all the zeros. Okay, same size. Same size. Same size. We're almost done here. Same size. This is not the same size. So these last two, machines machine and email parse. Last two, I can just copy. That's what I should have done in the first place. I'm setting my patches aside and I'm going to upload them. The make file I'm not going to keep. Pretty sure I'm not going to keep, but I may just, most of these Confederate folders get thrown away. Okay, so we're done with that. I should be able to just start afresh. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure that there's not anything in my directory before I start again, because of course it'll just fail at the same place. Why? Because it doesn't have the setting I just put in to the LD flags under package in there. Gone. Go. Empty. 1,617. Now, one thing that annoys me once in a while, this will like to believe I'm actually in trash folder, so I'm just going to go back. Okay, let's do it. If I didn't make the patch sums, my patches would fail at this point in time. But all the patches should lie, unless there's patch clash, but I didn't detect that there was any. In fact, I even updated the configure, so I won't have any. But I will separate, whenever I've modified a patch that pre-existed, I'll put that in a separate folder called replacement files, which means you're to replace the original patch with the patch I've provided, especially for Haiku, but it won't damage the other ones because of the way I'm doing it. I still keep the other stuff in place. Which means I didn't copy over patch configure, did I? I really honestly don't remember changing those. Don't know why that number would change. Safe. I'm going to call it a replacement patch. I'm going to put it in here. Meanwhile, that builds. You shouldn't have any of the errors I had before. The only question really is, will using ldflags.haiku, will that resolve the fact that it's not finding library network? And the way you know it isn't finding library networks is because it has get host by name, undefined reference to socket, things like that. That is exactly the symptom for library network. Dynatrans, so we're getting down. Yeah, we're still in the CPU directory. So I'm not exactly ready to get rid of my Confederate file, but almost. In fact, here I didn't. Patch source disk image would be good to copy, wouldn't it? Package source won't try to apply .rig files as patches. So. Too much clutter. I'm going to have a lot of stuff to load up. I'm hoping to get through the emulator. So I got through time, X11. I may only have a few more sit-down sessions. I wonder why it's doing that. This INT32 is definitely from standard INT header. INTs. But when you only care about that when it errors out. Warnings, doesn't matter. It'll still build. For the purpose of building. remember that. So far it's taken me about 2 weeks to get. It'll take me another week to get back the 4,800 packages I had built, but I feel a lot better about the foundation I've built, the patches that I've created, and I think I will have a chance to go forward depending on how well things are pathed, which I have no idea. I'm really hoping that I'm not going to have those issues with FFTW. Alright, we're making an auto dev. I remember there's 2 of those. I don't remember if I'd seen the first one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the boot blocks, some disk images. Machinima bobs. Alright, 3, 2, 1, lift off. See how far we get here. I don't have a guarantee, and then if the library network thing doesn't work, I'd rather have a solution inside my settings rather than cheating and putting it in the make file and just I'll just move on. Because I want to be able, other people to be able to use the solution, not have to do that, and just have things just built automatically, which is the whole point. Package stores to have all your stuff just built automatically, otherwise known as build botting. Let's see how this thing goes. Oh, got close, but no problem. Even if it wasn't here, I'd know what to put in there. That's not always the case. I'm getting my ass kicked, but oh my god, still not there. Maybe I will cheat. Almost looks like same kinds of. Yeah, it doesn't have library network in there. I may leave this for another day, actually. This, no, this makefile is generated by configure. I wonder. Let's do my example again. Network doesn't always work here. I could do the substitute classes thing. I have to wait for the whole build again. Now, if that's not the only solution, I got my Confederate make file here. I can just copy in. Let's just do this. We're done. So the thing is I need to figure out how to get that in some kind of setting. And what I don't understand is why that was going to work for Sun and not for. So what I need to do is actually here. This is unique Is it? No, it's not. This will be unique right there. So I'm going to have it look for this and replace it with this up to the Bell network. I have to use substitute classes here. Gotta whip out the big guns because, as I said, it doesn't always work one way or the other. But so we have the LD flags. Nope. So I have a build. Okay, let's right. So what I want to do here, just kind of get things ready. Yeah, let's take this whole thing over. Substitute classes. It's the reason why I got this broken up the way I have it is because, you know, I could kind of plagiarize my stuff. I don't have to look too hard for this stuff. Let's see, get in here. Problem is, I did cut, and I didn't cut that. Undo cut. What are you talking about? Where's my other? No. What do you just delete the damn? Okay, it doesn't matter all that much. Where am I? Now what this set means is anything between these brackets is what's going to trade up. So, okay, let's make sure I got this. Package path needs to be GXEMU. Yeah, it needs to be emulators. Alright, so I got a 6, I got a 5, I got a 3, a 2, probably 4 would be good. Yeah, in this case, try to be fancy, but I don't think so. Let's see how it goes. So, okay, so yeah, I'm gonna add it. Okay, so I have it look. I have it look for. That, and replace it with. What am I doing? Alt V. Network. World network, right? So it's going to look for that. Ooh, if I have more than one of those. No, but see, I got the other libs here. That's the unique thing. There are other things that have this stuff. But there's one line that has both this and that, which allows me to feel comfortable substituting this whole content, which is unique to that line, with that. I don't, you know, and honestly, I don't necessarily have to have these numbered differently, but I'm doing it anyway. I don't think. So, if things work out right, I should be able to look at this make file during the build process. Patches are still going to apply, even though I'm going to end up deleting the source here. And I should be able to look, once the build starts at the make, I double click on it or open it up at PE, and I should see that it looks like this with L network in there. If it doesn't, but I'll also be able to tell if I even apply, because I'll go up here and I'll see some Am I using LIbx11 That's not. Why am I calling it LIbx11 Let's go back here. Is it open? No. Why is this thing open? I'm going to call this. Yeah, well. Now, if I screw any of these up, it's not going to apply evenly. So. Y4, why not? Oh, V. I have to call all of them the same thing, otherwise it ain't going to happen. I could call it just lives or something like that, but whatever. Alright, so that actually should work. So, but I gotta get rid of this source, so it's gonna take a little while. Houston, we have a package. That sucker, go internal, let's do it again. So, I don't know how far I'm gonna get here. I probably get rid of that. I know there's nothing else I'm going to need, so I got rid of that. What's going on with OrgSim? OrgSim needs the library network once again. I'm going to do the same process. Try the libs. That doesn't work. Bring out the big guns with the subclass. The subclasses just takes more time, so that's why I don't try it first. And takes up more space, so why, and then this SimH I'm also going to end up patching. I would like, just to zip up my entire emulators directory and upload that instead of two separate ones. Let's see, SimH. Oh god, what the hell is that? And what's it looking for? Needed an end if and some other God knows what here. I'm probably going to have to do a diff on this thing. Alright, there's an L network there. I don't think that was enough. I remember having to add an end if here, or doing something with it. And I could have to do a little extra more work because it's a makefile, and if it's not a makefile that comes with the whole thing, then take another half an hour, so that's probably for tomorrow. Plus I gotta upload my stuff. Well, it's not too late. I already know what the result of this is probably gonna be. So, let's see, CD, M tab, sim, H, why is it? B make, extract, and patch. Downloading the source code. Ooh, don't have library pcap, and that was something. So that one's probably not. Let's see. I remember that being a bit tricky, and I do have. Whoa. Oh, that's got the fad null thing. I wasn't very comfortable with that set of patches. That was. So this SimH is probably going to have to wait for another day. OrgSim is just a makefile with library network, which I know I'm going to be able to handle. The question is, how long is it going to take? It's going to try to build library pcap, and if it just builds, I'll be surprised because it had some issue. It had some duplicate definitions in there. I had to zero out one file, so that I'm not all that uncomfortable with. Man, well, let's see how this thing goes. So you can't always go straight down a category. Just kind of jumping around. Since I already have this package already built, I just want to see that it builds. You know, see that I got a solution that works. I want to be able to provide solutions. Not just say, oh, okay, well, I'm assuming that's going to work, and move on. You have to test. Okay, yeah, didn't think so. So anyway, but here in the pkg int, okay, this right here, that's missing standard int. The question is, did I already do that before? Where's it? Name of that thing. That's one of these fancy include. I bet you it's over here. No. Right. What directory am I in? pkg int. Right. There it is. Duplicate. It's already patched, so I know if there isn't one there, we're okay. And of course, well, the standard, I probably should have already changed this. Let's see. There it is. Is that my only change? No, I had more. Should have put, yeah, right there, standard int at the top. So let's just copy this one over. Don't know why I would have two of those. File, paste, replace that. Okay. Up here, gonna need that. Did I actually make patches for this? I did. So what the hell am I doing here? Let's see. So I need to go through this whole exercise. Could probably, let's see, what the hell did I do that before? Let's see. Extract. So, yeah. It's going to want to add these. pkgsrc. Come on, open up. Now, the question is whether I'm doing any of the same things or makefile.in. Makefile.in. So I got a problem there. I definitely have a problem there because I have a patch clash right here. So there's the makefile.in where I said don't build the fad null. Yeah, you don't actually need to zero that out. It's this, and what line is that? Christ, that's huge. I wonder if I put these in local patches. One thing I don't know is if there are two files trying to patch the same thing. If it's stored in local patches, if it'll actually work. Let's see. Net, okay. Sometimes it gives me this message about going with plan A, going with plan B. Okay, so where am I? No. Oh, no, it's okay. It'll try to rebuild LIbx. And it should build. It won't apply my patches. It'll still fail. I have to start over again. So, and I have to do the bmake patch sums. So what am I doing? So, up here to work. Net LIbx, move to trash. Okay, let's see if this works at all. And I have to do bmake this is what you have to do. If you download my patch, if you make patch some after you put it, whatever it is you put it. I believe this is what you have to do. It might not, it might not if it's in local patches. But if you end up putting it in the patches directory, that's what you have to do. Alright, so Geximal succeeded, I believe. It did. So that fix worked, patches worked. Now we're seeing if the LIbpcap, which I never planned on doing, will work. So we can get to SimH and then the work sim. So this, oh yeah, forgot this. Oh well, it's life. Yeah, I terminated a lot of the services and things started to slow down. So where am I? LIbpcap, I probably just copy this. Well, copy it. And I gotta test Diger stuff because I haven't yet. Get rid of that. Of course, I'm assuming that fancy. I'm just going to delete that one after this thing builds. Let's see how we're doing. Now we're saying fad null. Multiple definites, that's what it was before. So I have to actually zero out fad null. Damn it. Patches again. Damn it. Okay. Need those open 100 times. So I still have to add my own stuff. Oh, where's the work directory? Okay, go over here, work. Work. Where that thing was. However, my little one directory here. Is that in the root? What the hell? It is. Alright. This is the strangest patch I'll ever make. Okay, I need to go over here. Make patches. And there's going to be a lot of duplicates. Yes, I know. It's also going to make they don't differ because they, of course. Now this is just a redefinition of other stuff. Literally, everything here is redefined. I don't know why they have it. Fad null. That's what I patch fad null. There we go. File copy. Go there. Those are Confederates. There's my. And I can't. This patch make file. I don't. Okay, so now it's updated patch AC. I don't need patch because that is a make file. Yeah. So that is actually a replacement patch, which is probably what I wanted to do anyway. Okay. Copied patch. Okay, so pcap int ih. Since I already got that in local patch, see that's the problem. So I got to clear. I actually got to delete that. Just replacing it because what the hell I can. So I got to delete that local patches directory basically. All right. That I just made. And of course I got to clear out this. And then we start over again. So I got so I got 3 fad null clears it out, those 2, and then that. Let's replay that. Okay, that's not bad. Ah, great. Ah, this patch clash. I hate shit. Alright, this is what I'm going to do. I have to get rid of this fucking thing now. So I have to bmake. I'm not even going to be able to make a patch for that. I gotta make a note for that. I hate it when it does this shit. And of course, and then when they throw in the make patch sentence, it makes it really fun. Bmake. All right. Not everything works smoothly. Alright, so it's patched. So what I gotta do manually is actually do what I say in my little note here. So I got INT, get the pkgsrc, everything's patched. Okay, so work and work directory. This damn thing. This fat and old son of a bitch. Okay. So it's still there, and probably more technically, I'd probably want to add some command to the pkgsrc make file to do a touch on that file or something. I don't know. As far as I could tell, it didn't require any other adjustments. Just get rid of this damn thing. Let's let it build first. Yeah, right. Two of them. Then I can get back to SimH. Woohoo! Now, if I have anything in LIbx11 it's because I had to. Why would I make a full package, for fuck's sake? Format not recognized. I don't know what the hell is going on. Is this some kind of symbolic link crap? It's gonna drive me crazy. There's a few of these where it's been kind of strange, where it just strip process. Now these things usually land in here. Now what the hell seems to be the problem? That's goddamn problem. Not recognized. Bin. And why are you not recognized? I recognize it. Why don't you recognize it? What is this? Not permissions issue? You know what? I think I've had enough. This is mostly built. I don't know what's going on with this. And I'm not. Why is it not? What the frick is going on here, man? Wait, is this not executable? Is that the problem? Oh, right, so I gotta figure out what the hell that is. But I'm gonna stop for now because I think I'm so tired I can't think straight anymore. And I forgot what the hell I was doing, and I'm probably not gonna get my repository stuff up till tomorrow because I just kept going way too long. And so that'll be it for now.